All right. So for this group past life healing, we have Dana and Veronica and Jody and Noelia and Melissa. And so for past life healings or past life regressions, what happens is what they're trying to do is they're trying to go to the most convenient spot. So they're trying to assist us to go ahead and release any karma, any patterns, anything like that. So that's first and foremost. That's the first thing that Spirit wants to do is they want us to go to a place where we can go ahead and we can wipe the slate clean. And so that's a lot of the times when we'll go ahead and we'll go to these places, okay? And that's why. So for example, one of the past life regressions that I did, this gal, she had actually been in the Holocaust, and actually she had, if you've ever been to the Holocaust Museum on the East Coast, her pair of shoes was in the Holocaust Museum. And so with that, we go through the past life healing, and what happens is at the end, she was like, and I thought I was a queen, and I thought it was so funny because if anything, that Holocaust past life regression was very, very necessary for us to go there to go ahead and wipe the slate clean. Okay. And I said, you very well could have been, and I've had other people, another gal had asked, well, what about this other past life? And so then she actually did two different sessions, and the second one was almost more of like the glorious session, and so she was like, I like this. Okay, so I do want to keep it open to you guys, just recognizing that we are going to go to the most efficient place that Spirit wants us to go. Okay, also though, some of you may have already been getting intuitive hits of where your past lives have been, and so somebody may just know they had drowned, or just really resonate with the Titanic or something like that. And so please bring that forward as well if that's something that, a place that we do want to go to. Just because even though Spirit is orchestrating this, we're also co-creating, we're also allowing ourselves to come together with this. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, you guys, perfect. Okay. And so, another thing they're wanting me to tell you is that just recognize this is not you now. Sometimes people's psyches, line up with that past life, and they just think, oh, I was a horrible person, or that kind of thing. That life is past, and so we're not part of that life anymore. And so since we're not part of that life anymore, we need to go ahead and detach from it. So I know that one gal, she was just having a hard time after the past life regression, and she just said, how can I be such a horrible person? Is that why my life is this way? And if anything, the purpose of why they're bringing this forward is just to clear it, okay? Just to be able to assist you to not continue some of these karmic patterning, okay, of what's happening. So we are going to see how you guys are all linked, and then we're also going to clear some of that karma and some of the patterns and whatnot. Also, just recognize that you may have a visceral response, so that you may have your digestive system, your nervous system might go into kind of a fight or flight, okay, or a freeze. And so just in recognizing that with that, drink a lot of water, take a lot of deep breaths, take walks, go outside, be in nature, to really ground yourself back. What's happening there is that you are you're purging and letting go, okay, and so you may have a physical response to that, and just being really gentle with yourself during that time. There are times that I've done past life regressions or healings, and I've kind of felt it the next day or the next couple days. So just recognizing, just be really gentle with yourself during that time. And anything else? So again, we're going back in time. We're going to go ahead and we'll probably do 2 or 3 past lives, and we'll see what happens, and see where we go. I have you guys on mute right now, but take yourself off mute if you have a question or that type of thing. And then also, what they're sharing is that sometimes in a past life, what can happen is there may be, since we have 5 of you ladies, and there may be that there's 1 or 2 players that are actually like let's say they have minute roles. I don't want to say minimize it by any means, but let's say that one of you is a cashier, you know, or one of you guys is a waitress and the rest of you guys always came in and hung out with this waitress, you know, that kind of thing. And so just recognizing that they're going to do their best to have a glimpse at whatever these lives are at the time you guys have all come together. And yet there may be a time, like one lifetime where 3 of you guys were together, and then 10 years later 2 of you guys were together, and then 1 out of this 3 came over here. Okay, so it may be that we just touch on 1 or 2, maybe 3 of you, and then we're trying to make sure we're getting all the pieces to match. Also be aware that where they bring us in the past life is exactly where we need to go. So to trust in that. Sometimes they go at the beginning, sometimes they go in the middle, sometimes they go at the passing point. Also be aware that the past lives, 2 things I want to share right now is that we may go to times that we've never heard of before. So there are times where I've seen objects that I can't even Google. I don't even know what it is. And so I'll do my best to be able to describe what it is, just so you guys are able to recognize that it's, you know, perhaps something, maybe be able to relate it to something that you use now. So let's say like they're trying to help me to see what the people are eating out of, you know, and so I'm like, it's kind of like a bowl, but it's not a bowl, that kind of thing. Also recognize that sometimes these past lives can get pretty graphic, and that I'm releasing along the same lines as you're releasing. So a lot of times what happens is I may cough, I may retch or that kind of thing, just because I'm trying to get something out. Okay, so it looks really pretty. And so then recognize that it is graphic, and yet they're going to allow for you to take in what you need to take in. Just again, so I'm having a hard time with my throat, and I was earlier too, so I feel like something happened to somebody's throat in here. And so just recognize that with that again, it's not you. And also recognize that in past lives that there was very, very traumatic things that happened, okay? So in this lifetime, people live to, you know, be 90, that kind of thing, and what takes us out is like a stroke or, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't want to minimize that by any means, but we're not getting shot 1,000 times, you know, we're not that kind of thing. And so just recognizing that sometimes the deaths in the past lives are pretty horrific. Again, this is going to clear things. This is also going to assist you with clearing, you know, any fears that you may have. So I feel like there's at least one person in here that has something with their throat going on. And then I'm just asking for more confirmation of if I should share this. Earlier, they were showing me that one of you had been buried alive. Okay, so we're putting that out there, and it may not necessarily come through in these lifetimes. I don't necessarily have control over that, but at the same time, if you guys have an irrational fear of any sort of being buried alive or of dying via the throat / whatever this is, we're going to get rid of it. Okay, so this is all encompassing. So even though we don't necessarily go to that, you know, go to specifically, you know, so and so have been buried alive, at the same time, if you have that fear, then that's going to be taken care of. Okay, that's going to be taken care of in this session. Any questions at this point? You guys are ready for the ride. Okay. Let's get this party started. Okay. So again, I'm just going to say your name so I can get you guys lined up into this other realm. So what I do is I use pendulum to go back in time, and this is also clearing. Okay, so this is also clearing as we're going back in time. So again, we have Dana and Veronica and Melissa and Jody and Noelia. So right off the bat, I'm just getting that we're in a saloon of some sort. This is old times. This is not your typical bar type of thing. My ears are ringing. There's shots. There's screaming. And Noelia, you're underneath the table. Okay, so you're underneath the table. I just feel you're holding your hair and you're really pulling at your hair, and you're screaming, not screaming. Who is this? Veronica comes under, slides under the table, and she's covering your mouth. Okay, so she's just like shh, 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 shh. And so as we're looking at this, so I have like just goosebumps. Like this is a high intensity time right now. I smell alcohol. There's a lot of smoke of some sort. I don't necessarily. It's not our typical cigarette smoke by any means. It's but my nose is filling up and that kind of thing. And so it's interesting to me because Dana, you're off. You're further back. I feel like, yes, I'm getting confirmation that you're the bartender. Dana, you're male. Noelia is female, and then Veronica Veronica is male as well. And so what's interesting here is that as I'm looking at everybody, what is happening is there's I feel like there is an unspoken communication. So there's an unspoken communication between you all, okay? And so then as this is happening, I feel Dana is looking, but she can't. She's looking at she is looking at the table under, and so she knows that Veronica and Noelia are under this table. Jody is on the other side, okay, you guys? So Jody is not part of your posse, okay? So Jody's on the other side. She has a gun. What's interesting to me, she is there's like a headdress. She's what is this? I'm confused because she seems female, but yet she has a very masculine something to her. So they're showing me that I'm getting this flash of the couple that they were murderers, and they went across the U.S. and they were murderers. Does this ring a bell of any sort? Have you guys heard of this couple? Yeah. Is it Bonnie and Clyde? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I was just reading your lips. Okay, perfect. So they're just showing me that this is I almost feel like it's a shoot off, like, but it's a offshoot. It's an offshoot. I'm getting stuck on the word shoot, of them. So there's actually imitations of Bonnie and Clyde. And so then Jody is, she is female, yet she has this masculine to her. Okay. So we have the scene, and I'm just looking around for Melissa. Okay, so Melissa, you are near the door, and you're not, okay, this is interesting to me. So I need to use my hands. So you're at the door, but you're behind, you're kind of peeking in, right? What has happened is upstairs there is a family, and it's your family, Melissa. Melissa, do you have children right now? No? Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out who these children are, if they're related to you in this lifetime or not. And so then I'm getting confirmation that these children, you have two children, they're a boy and a girl, and they are part of this part of this lifetime. Do you have a niece, a nephew? Okay, a niece and a nephew? Okay, so that's who they are in that lifetime. They're just showing you that they're the children. So getting emotional because one of them, I feel like what happened, Melissa, is that you were part of this family upstairs, okay, and it just I almost feel like very, very low economic, that kind of thing, and you're living above a saloon. I hear the word Western. I'm trying to get information of is this America? I'm getting no, that it's not America. So we're not there. Are we in Europe? We are in Europe. Okay, so we are in Europe. So allowing us to be able to get more information about that. And so what's happening is, Alyssa, you had come home, and I'm just asking questions right now. You had come home and you had my head is just throbbing. I mean, it's just ringing, whatnot. But you had come home, you had been working somewhere, and I feel like, okay, so you're a male in this lifetime, and so you're coming in from like a hard day's work. I almost feel like you worked at the mercantile or something like that, and then somehow you have the children, you're bringing them upstairs, and then the shootout happens, and your nephew, and they're the same, so it's nephew and male in that lifetime, niece and female, looks, right? He looks into the bar, and you pull him, and at that moment a bullet kind of goes by him, and so he's bleeding, and so you snag him and pull him up, and that's kind of that's the emotions that I was feeling, is that you're sweeping and pulling him up, and then pushing your niece, but this is your daughter in that lifetime, and you're pushing, and you're kind of rocking a hard place. So you're pushing the niece up the stairs, and you're just like, what in the world do I do? Okay, so here's this chaos. Okay, so we have the scene, we have what's going on. So So again, there's a lot of screaming, yelling, there's glass, there's, and I can smell alcohol, but it's not the smell that you smell these days. It's, distilled very, organically. I almost feel I can smell the earth with it and that kind of thing. And so what's happening here is just absolute chaos, like absolute chaos. And so then all of you are part of that lifetime. All of you have one thing or another to be able to contribute to that lifetime. And then that was the nucleus that somehow you guys came into. So this is the moment that we're all in. And as I set the scene, what's interesting is it's almost like everything froze then, right? So as I'm kind of like leaning in and looking, everything is like in still. It's just like, Jody has her gun, she's looking around, she's very masculine. And so this is, okay, so then, Jody, do you have a boyfriend or a husband? Okay, he's part of it. So you guys are the same gender, okay, as you are in this lifetime, but you're just very masculine. So you're throwing me for a loop a little bit. And so anyway, he is grabbing money and jewelry and everything else because people are like on the floor, So anyway, then it's interesting, Dana. You're so calm. Like you're just so calm. I'm just like watching you, and I'm just like, wow, she's so calm. And I almost feel like I'm getting the word mother hen. Dana, do you have kind of that personality? Like just kind of like, I got it, like it's all good, kind of thing. And so I just feel that because I'm really tuning into your energy, and I'm just like, wow, like she's so calm. And so as we're looking at this, you're part of it. You're part of this. So as I was sharing earlier, like Noelia and you and Veronica, it seemed like you guys are on the same team, right? But instead you were so calm because you knew you were not in danger and you already knew this was going to happen. Okay. Also, just asking them questions, thought to thought, what does this mean for this lifetime? What this means for this lifetime, Dana, is that you already have premonitions of some sort. And what's happening is that you're either not believing them or something of that sort. Okay. So you already know. Okay. And so they're really wanting this to almost like spark something in you to be recognizing that. So also, I'm almost feeling like things get to you, Dana, but I'm almost feeling like you don't show it or something like that. So again, just it's like this demure attitude or that kind of thing. You're watching all of this happen, and I'm getting confirmation that we're getting to the clearing portion of this. And so then what's happening is, and I almost feel like we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up for questions after this. And then what's happening is that Jody and her husband, Bonnie and Clyde, but just an offshoot of that, okay, grabbing, I just see you, taking all of this, money, jewelry, da-da-da-da-da. And Noelia is like on the floor, like underneath this table. And it's interesting because part of her skirt is like out kind of thing. And all of a sudden, and she wants to scream. Like, Noelia, I don't know if you're a screamer in this lifetime, but you're like, Veronica's like, no, And so then it's interesting because you see that part of your dress is sticking out. And so all of a sudden, Jody's husband pulls, like yanks the skirt. And dang, Veronica, you're resourceful. What you're doing is somehow you're slitting or cutting the skirt at the same time, because Noelia is like going to be pulled out from underneath the table is what's happening. And so what is going on here is that all of a sudden Veronica is just super resourceful. I don't know if she had a pocket knife or something, but I see something sharp and she just goes like that, and then the skirt goes, and then Jody's husband is kind of looking around like, okay, that wasn't worth it, and then just grabbing. What I'm seeing is then the everything starts to kind of slow down, and then Jody and her husband are going out the door. I see Melissa Mann kind of cowering in the corner, not knowing what to do, because if you would have went upstairs, you could have been in just as much danger. Okay, shots through the ceiling, into the floor, that kind of thing. And Jody actually, she pushes you like that, and then you're just like, and that's what's throwing me, Jody, about you're so feminine, but you're so masculine in this. And then all of a sudden it's interesting because Jody sees that your nephew is bleeding. So this is your son, and just kind of stops, and all of a sudden you can see this eye to eye between Jody and Melissa, and they're looking at each other, and there's just this recognition. And I have goosebumps, I'm seeing that Jody wants to help, and almost like it's just like slow motion, and just like wants to help. And then all of a sudden, Jody, your husband, like pulls you and kind of points at you and says no, like almost like turn it off, don't. And I almost feel like in some ways, Jody, this is your superpower, like let's say in this lifetime and other lifetimes, but in that lifetime it could not turn on, like it could not. And so I'm almost feeling like there has been in this lifetime a disconnect of some sort at times with your empathy, and not that there's no judgment there whatsoever. I just feel like sometimes you've had to turn it off or something like that, you know what I mean? So then it's a little bit tricky there. So then this exchange, this look between Melissa and Jody, Veronica and Noelia are underneath the table, and all of a sudden there's just quiet. There's just quiet in the saloon or wherever this is. And so again, that that they're just sharing, like when the pendulum kind of slows down, that just means that, hey, we're wrapping this up. So what's interesting, so Veronica's, I just feel like, Veronica, you come out from underneath the table, you're very resourceful. Like you just have this like eagle eye of some sort. Like you're just observant, and just checking everything out. And so it's interesting how protective you were of Noelia. So again, so Veronica, you were just confirmation, you were a man, right? In that lifetime. Is that what they were sharing earlier? Yeah, okay, you're a man. She's like, no, in that lifetime. So you and Noelia were brother and sister. Okay, so that's what's happening there. I was just trying to get that relation down. And so you were her protector. Just cracked my knuckles. I don't do that. So that's kind of like the toughness, of this. You were her protector. And actually, you two were actually, it's interesting, you guys were pickpocketers as well, orphans, and actually just were in there in order to take care of business. Let me go ahead and you were looking for something. You were looking for goods of some sort. And then it's interesting. Okay, interesting. Dana was actually... Okay, they don't have a term for what her relationship is, but I'm seeing like orphan Annie, right? Like, so like Carol Burnett, it's almost like she was Carol Burnett, okay? They don't have a name for her, but she like kind of took care of you guys, and she used you guys to be able to do pickpocketing and that kind of thing. So that's why she was looking at you under the table. So there was a connection there, and that was what it was. She's kind of like that similar like relationship too, where she does care about you guys, but she kind of doesn't care about you guys at the same time. Okay, so there's just a little bit of a split there. So let's go ahead and let's look at how this is played out. Okay, so Dana got a little bit more information about this lifetime where she's getting these premonitions, but isn't necessarily tuning into them as often as they would like, let's say. Also, there's a little bit of a split with Dana in this lifetime based on that lifetime, and what they're showing with me with this split is what's happening is that belief in yourself. Okay, and so then it's almost like they're wanting to align you. Okay, so that's one thing that they're really wanting to do in that lifetime, was all about survival. Okay, you guys, all about survival. And so then it's like, I almost want to say, Dana, in this lifetime it's not about survival. And so to be able to have more of a belief in yourself is what they're showing me. Okay, that's how it's playing out here. Jody, we're going to come to you, you little bandit. And so with this, I'm almost feeling like what they're sharing is also somewhat of an alignment. So to be able to be able to use that empathy, and to know you're safe with that empathy. I almost feel like the empathy has gotten you in trouble, or not in trouble, but has hurt you. I think the empathy in this lifetime has hurt you, and so I almost feel like then you'll turn it off, which I'm almost feeling like just allowing yourself to feel safe. Always feel safe. Some financial stuff that they're showing me, Jody, is based on this lifetime. We're going to go ahead and clear that, okay? you and your husband are a good team though. Like, damn, you got a lot of goods at night. So that's good. Noelia, sweet girl. I'm almost just feeling like when what they're sharing is to not be afraid. I almost feel like, it makes sense. It makes sense that in that lifetime you were afraid, like, oh my gosh, your life was on the line. And so then just in recognizing, you can really rely on this group of women. And it's good that they had Veronica in there, resourceful eagle eye is what they were sharing. And so that was good, that was good that you were able to see that you were safe, and I feel like in this lifetime, just know that you're safe. Like I really, and I just feel like this posse, like they got your back, and I don't necessarily think you don't think that, but I almost feel like go ahead and think it more. Okay, go ahead and think it more. And then Melissa, sweet, beautiful Melissa, you in that lifetime, one of the things is to feel safe with a bond with child, okay, however this looks, niece, nephew, even if you're anticipating children, that kind of thing, just know that you'll have a good bond. I'm almost just feeling that there's something either between I'm almost feeling more your mom in this lifetime, or something where there's just some trepidation about maybe the mother-child relationship. And so just in recognizing that you're doing the work, and so since you're doing the work, then things are going to be really good. So even if you don't have the desire to have children in this lifetime, at least make sure that you're allowing yourself to really have that bond. And Veronica, so it's interesting. So I was here at High Heart with Melissa and Heart, and then Veronica, I jumped down to my solar plexus. So I really feel like, Veronica, it is that for you in this lifetime, it's really just showing you that, so I have it in my solar plexus, that you have the power. And so in this other lifetime, very resourceful, like just very eagle eye, that kind of thing. And I feel like you made Dana a really good living. So, and so, yeah. So then with that, they are just sharing like that, I feel like sometimes there's so much you could do. And I feel like sometimes it's a little maybe confusing or something along those lines. So there's just so much you could do. So I'm almost just feeling like, and I'm going to go solar plexus and throat, like really, I feel like they're sharing like to speak out, of what what you want to do. Like what I almost feel like, there's confusion because you have so many talents, and so almost like go ahead and orchestrate like everything you would want to do. And even if it is that you'd have like 3 different positions or passions that you're working on, that's okay. And so I almost feel like they're sharing like, go ahead and voice it, like voice what you want to do. And then this is interesting. Veronica, do you have a grandma in spirit at all? Okay, so she's here too. That's interesting. Sometimes they just kind of parallel and jump right on in. They're just okay. So speak it, and then also just recognizing that you really are. You're changing family history, and please speak it I feel like is what she's saying. Please speak what you want to do, and be able to say like, oh, I'd love to do this, 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 and this, and I almost feel like that's going to help with the manifestation process. And also there's somebody in your family that isn't quite on board with this, and it'll help them to wrap their brain around it. Okay. And then solar plexus, you have the power. So yeah, so that's everyone. I think I was just looking for another person. I think I was looking for Jody's husband. I was like, okay, and then this lifetime, and I'm like, he's not here. And I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna clear. Okay, so I can definitely give you guys this stanza. I feel like I've given, I think maybe it was Veronica that I'd given this to just in a comment in the VIP group, but it is that we're clearing any karma, any patterns, any ideas, any issues, any negative emotions, any misunderstandings, any dis-eases, any miscommunication, any blockages throughout all space and time, throughout all lifetimes, and into this lifetime. And then with this clearing, what we can do is then we can allow for this space to be filled with whatever is necessary. Okay, so this is slowing down, which tells me that this has really been clearing. And so allowing for whatever we want to put in this space. And I'm feeling love, I'm feeling light, I'm feeling healing, gratitude, creativity, financial abundance, time abundance, clarity, being able to align with your higher self, being able to align with your true self. And you guys can go ahead and put whatever you want into this space, you know, just with your thought, if you want to do that right now. Also, just know that this space is always open for business. So if tonight you're like, oh, I got to throw a car in there, you know, go ahead and throw your car in there. Like tomorrow, you know, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, my career, I want to throw that in there. So whatever you want, we're going to put in this space. We've cleared a significant amount so that there is a significant space. Okay. And I feel wisdom also. Yeah. And so just in recognizing that. So I'm going to go ahead and open you guys up. And then if there's any questions or any processing that needs to take place right now. So I'll go ahead and I got Veronica off. I'm just getting y'all off. Okay, go ahead.
I got kicked off right away as soon as you started. I did dive back in. It was like instant. It was like, nope. So I didn't hear the beginning part. So that's why I didn't know I was a male. I was like, huh?
I had my eyes closed, so I was like, oh. Yeah, so the beginning part, so they were just showing us the saloon. And they were just...
Oh, it's cool. No, you don't have to recap. I can watch the video. I think I got the gist, but I was just like, perfect. It was like, nope, I don't know why.
Wow. Technology. When did you come back in? When did you come back in?
With Jody, a female masculine, and then you start talking about Melissa having kids. And that's when I caught up. Yeah.
And so... okay, thank you. So that is good. I was just asking them questions about why that happened. And so a portion of that is that you didn't see the chaos, and that's what assisted you to be able to be that resourceful one. My eyes really twitching. To be that resourceful one. And I almost feel like that, I mean, even with this group, that I feel like you're resourceful. So I almost feel like it's because you put the blinders on, which is totally fine, right? I think that that's what it is. And that's what they're just sharing with me right now. I just asked what the eye twitch is. And I think it's your grandma. She's just really like, hi, you know, so that's kind of cute.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm like, you tell me why my eye is twitching. Yeah. So I feel like, keep going with that. That's definitely a strength of yours. It's definitely a strength. Anybody else have questions about that?
I do have a question about the clearing. Will it work on my husband as well, even though he's not in the room with me?
Yeah, and I think that's why I was looking for him, you know.
I did go out and sit with him for a minute so he could listen for a minute, but then I came back in the other room.
Yeah, you're good. And yeah, it is cleared. I'm just tuning into his energy. Hi, Jody's husband. I feel like it's believing in himself, like just really truly believing that he's got this lifetime, you know. And you two are a really good combo for that. And you have kids as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And you guys are a great team. You know, just don't shoot up the saloon. You know, just don't do it. But yes, that's cleared for him as well. And I do feel like it's, you know, almost like affirmations on your part to be able to really allow him to know that he's got this. He really does. He really does.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Got what you needed? Okay. Amazing, huh? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into another lifetime. I myself am putting it out there, and I'm curious about who was buried alive and then who had the throat stuff going on. And so that's what I'm like kind of talking with about to spirit right now. I also just want to keep it open. If you guys want me to go a specific place, or if you have a certain, I feel like Jody just took herself off mute. If you have a certain,
I just feel like I might be the one that was buried alive, but I'm curious if that's true or not.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm getting more confirmation about that. And I just asked him a question of, so what does that what does that mean? And I really feel like, okay, I'm getting a few other hits too about it. You guys have just had a lot of lives together. Okay, so let me just kind of, I'm not going to go to one specific life right now, but what they're sharing is that with that, Jody, knowing that you more than likely that was you, knowing to almost like focus, like be steadfast in this lifetime, of knowing that what you want and what you desire is coming to you. I feel like, again, that they're just showing me that you were transcendent. And so you got to be transcendent in this lifetime, and you just got to go for it. There's nothing to lose. There's nothing to lose in this lifetime. And then I do see Egyptian times with you guys, and I also see witches. Witches. Is that a surprise? I'm like, woo! Okay, so let's go ahead and let's bring this all together. Let's bring this together. I'm just, again, it's multiple lifetimes, and I feel like you guys knew that. It's good that we're able to get confirmation there, but I do feel like you guys, you knew that, you know. I mean, I'm just asking them questions. Okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys insights about the witches. And so it's interesting. So Dana has, I'm just seeing like her eyes. So she's got the wisdom. And again, she comes through. It's just that mother hen again, like just that, you know, like she's just like orchestrating things, very calm, very centering, very, you know, it's good. I do feel like she was the teacher. I think it's, you know, she's very wise in this lifetime. And then what's interesting there, is that she knew all the potions, okay, in that whatever this was, and she was teaching you guys. Jody was the rebel. She kind of got pissed off at times, and she'd just be like, "I'm out," you know. So I just see her like almost like taking the potions and being like, you know, nothing, you know, and then just kind of running out. Melissa is you know, it's interesting to me, Melissa, you're having another kind of like coming in the back door, coming in slyly kind of thing, you know, so you're kind of like, you're like kind of observing, you know, and then it's interesting because you're taking in the information, and then you're like orchestrating it, like it's, you had other powers than what they did, and you use these silently, so they're wanting you to share the powers in this lifetime. Noelia, I see you stepping forward, and you're Dana's daughter, okay, in that lifetime, so you just have this direct download there. And then Veronica, as you're coming forward, you're again this resourceful, but you're using weapons in that lifetime. So it's interesting to me that perhaps that's almost like, it's funny because I'm like seeing you guys as a team, and I'm like, is this like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like where everybody has their own weapon, you know? And it's funny because they're kind of showing me that it was all Veronica was like all the Ninja Turtles, like yeah, she had all the weapons, you know. And I feel like that survival, like Veronica, I just feel like, you know, you're just a survivor, you know, survivor there. So I just wanted to make sure I got all the players there before we went into the other lifetime, just because I'm not always aware of where they're going to bring us, you know, so I wanted to tap into that if that's what it is. Okay, so they're just okay. So they're just wanting us to go ahead, and is there any requests after knowing this? You know, if somebody's like, let's go further into the witch, let's go into the Egyptian, let's go, you know, are you guys good for me just to go? Looks like I'm just watching your facial expression.
Am I off mute?
Yeah, go ahead, Dina.
Okay, so the way that we all met was through this class. And there was like a question in that class of us all being a part of this first 48 thing. And we have a feeling that maybe some rift happened there. And then kind of a rift happened in the class. So I would be interested to find out if like we disrupted something as a group ourselves, or if what happened is there a greater group than us 5, or is it just us and that's just totally BS? That's
This is really, yeah, this is really good. And so do you mean the first 48 like within witches? Is that what that is? Who knows? Okay, this is just, that's all the information you guys got.
Yeah, like we were told there was a group of the original 48 that had initiates and leaders, and that they were trying to close a portal to fight reptilians or something, and then that some of us were on the inner circle and some were on the outer circle. But then we started getting ousted from the conversations and the groups that discussed it. Like we were told we were it and then cut out
This
as time
happened
progressed.
in real time. This happened in real time. Okay, got
In
it.
this lifetime on Zoom chats. Yeah.
Got it. This is really good because this is really important to you, to all of you. This is very important to all of you. Okay, so this is really, really good. So let's go there. Are you guys ready? Here we go. I feel like it's like the magic carpet ride. I can hear that song in my head. Here we go. Okay. So right off the bat, I hear a master's voice, and so it's a male voice, and it's not any of you. It's actually a master that's talking to you, who's in spirit right now, who is staying in spirit. So this master slash, almost, I don't want to say guide. It's like master, and it's a male. And it's interesting the way he steps in, because he just says, "Well, of course you knew this already." Like it's interesting how he kind of shakes his head as if you already knew. And so I'm honing right down into Veronica, and so it's interesting to me because I feel like they're wanting you. It's interesting. It's almost like, and not that you have to do this, but it's almost like he's like, stand up, stand up, stand up, you know, and that he is wanting this in this lifetime as well. Stand up, stand up, stand up, you know, and being able to be, what he's showing me is that fighter. Okay. And so I am feeling that, and I feel like he's very gentle. I feel that that's the first place they want us to go. Sometimes they do that before we actually see the scene. Okay, we're actually just hearing voices, or we're not quite within the past life, because it's almost as if in a movie how they have like a voiceover and we're panning into the scene. So that's almost what he's doing right off the bat. And then it's interesting to me because he's pointing to Noelia and he's like, you, like that. And so it's interesting how he's looking, and he says, you know more than you're letting on. Okay. But it's not necessarily that he's upset with you or anything else. He just wants you to bring that forward. Okay. And then, Melissa, I'm seeing her as a female, and then as almost just very, very sly, very sexy, very sly, and getting away with things because of how sly she is and because of how attractive she is. And then I'm back and forth between Dana and Jody. I feel like it's Dana first. Then if we're looking at Dana, you're orchestrating, you're kind of in that role again, like the mother hen-ish, but you're not speaking as much. So this is actually, I mean, way before this other lifetime, okay, that I had just shared about. And you have remedied this throughout the lifetimes, because in that lifetime you had a lot of wisdom, but you weren't sharing it necessarily. Okay. I just asked if this is the witch lifetime. They said, no, we've already covered that. Okay. So then Jody, do you like how I came in? Jody. You're a rebel. You just are. You are. And girlfriend, like, I just feel like it's lifetime after lifetime. And I really, what they're showing me, and this, I'm going to have to pick up pendulum in just a minute. They're showing me a scroll, which they're showing me multiple scrolls, and you have them under your arms, and you've taken all the secrets and you've taken off. Okay, in that lifetime. And so I hear the word disparaging. And so you then dispelled all the secrets. And these were secrets of this clan, of this tribe. and you also hurt the hearts of your sisters here, you know. And I feel like, you know, not to put it like, oh gosh, Jody, you know, not at all. Again, just recognizing this is not you, okay. And so then, oh, okay, then we have Noelia that is like a little mouse, and she actually goes with you. And why I say a little mouse, I mean that so kindly, is that she is a part of that as well, but she doesn't like get caught, let's say, because she kind of slithers away. I'm going to go ahead in, you know, as you're seeing this, what, you know, we're getting confirmation that this is clearing, let's say. Let's just go there. So my ears are ringing. We're heading there. Let's see what the scene is. So this is it's a desert, and at the same time, it's you can hear by my voice even that it's ancient. It's very, 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 very ancient. And so it's BC, and it is again very ancient, and it's interesting. I'm getting some hits. It's interesting because it's a parallel between past and future, okay. And so they're showing me very ancient, but at the same time, you guys were able to get a lot of information about the future. Like I almost feel like there was time travel or something along those lines, or there was transcending of some sort. Myself, I'm transcending. So myself, I'm really just feeling like I'm in a completely different world. And so again, a lot of dust. I'm having a hard time like breathing. It's just desert. There really isn't any plant life, you know. It just isn't. Veronica, I see you stepping forward, and I do see like you got the armor on. You have, you know, you are female, but you have this masculine to you. And as you're coming forward, I do feel that it is that you are the leader of sorts. And I do feel that you are a part of again, like you said, like one of the 48, you know, kind of thing. You guys were actually in the, let's say, they're showing like a cutoff at the 48, but actually you guys were like 37 or something like that. But that it's a number that was a taboo number. And so then you guys, it was almost like this collectiveness of the clan that said, oh, that's taboo. It's almost like saying like 666 or something like that. Like, oh, no, you know. So I feel like you 5 came into the clan and hit that like taboo number. So then they upped you guys to like, oh, actually we're 48. And so then with that, I see you guys almost like with tattoos of some sort, and it burns. So I feel like they burned, you know, you're burned with these tattoos of some sort. And that was one thing coming into this particular clan that offset all of you, was that you guys wanted to stay together. You wanted to be a part of this. And what was happening is that for some reason you came in at this taboo number. And so there was like a slight on you all, like at the get-go kind of thing. So again, I see Veronica stepping forward. I see Jody has like this higher wisdom, and then I do see that Dana has a lot of wisdom, and she's kind of like she's like almost just wanting to make sure everybody's okay, everybody okay, you know, and like appeasing like the clan, appeasing, you know, all of this kind of thing, and yet she has such higher knowledge. Melissa, again, I'm just seeing that you're sly in this lifetime. So let's go ahead and let's see what else we see with this. So I am seeing, okay, so the portal is that future, okay? So as you were talking about like the reptiles and like the portal, what is this? And that's what it is. So you guys have, and I'm definitely seeing like Veronica, I'm seeing Jody, I'm seeing Melissa. You still have the capability of transcending. Okay, they're almost showing me like Zen meditation of some sort, and that's how you guys figured it out. Is through this meditation. So you guys were actually, you had the key, right? And the rest of the clan was already a little bit jaded that you came in at this taboo number. And so then you had a lot to contribute to the clan. You had a lot to contribute. And there was the weapon of choice in those days is what they're sharing is jealousy, is envy, okay? And so then just asking more questions, thought to thought, what else is happening here, and allowing them to bring in that, you know, you three had that. And I almost feel like I see Noelia as like the scroll writer, like it's all, and I'm not seeing the writing happening necessarily in the way we would think it was happening, okay? But she is like the scribe. And then Dana is like trying to take care of everything, like maybe we should go back to the clan, and maybe we should, like, I mean, because, you know, we didn't mean to come in on a taboo number, like maybe we should just, I don't know, like let's just figure this out, you know, kind of thing. So that's kind of Dana's personality in this lifetime. And so this is all you guys. So then we have Jody, we have Veronica, we have Melissa, who are doing this transcending into the future. Okay, we're seeing the reptiles because it's not true reptiles, you guys. So it's moving through time, okay? And so, like, what do they call it? The worm, like the time worm or something like that. And so that's what it is. So I'm not seeing like reptiles like we would think, but you guys are actually like just flowing, you know, you just see this flow. And there's almost like, I feel like I can see like dragons bringing you guys, but it's not dragons. It's more just like ethereal light, let's say. And then we can see it in illusion as dragons. So you guys move to the future quite often, you three, okay? And then it's like you come back and you have stuff for Noelia to write down. And then it's really sweet because Dana like takes care of you guys, you know, like, okay, do you need more? You know, it's not, I want to say water, but it's not water. She's like trying to feed you guys, that kind of thing. So the first to go is Jody. Jody just says, you know, this is ridiculous. It doesn't work for us. We're leaving. She takes Noelia with her. Okay. And I'm just feeling that, you know, so again, Jody's taking all the scribes. She's taking Noelia with her, all the scrolls. And then you guys are gone. Like, you guys don't ever come back. Okay. You guys are completely gone from that lifetime, from the other three. So there's this feeling inside Veronica, like, understanding that you guys need to leave the clan and still feeling hurt. Okay. And then I almost feel like Melissa just feels just kind of aloof about the whole thing. Like, I can get my information elsewhere. So Jody and Noelia took all the secrets, let's say. And yet Melissa has this higher like knowledge that she's like, she always has these downloads. So I see Melissa and I see Dana, and then and Veronica still there, right? And I see Melissa and Veronica like continuing to do this work. Okay. And then Dana continuing to help out. And what's interesting is that in that lifetime, Veronica is able to like break a code of some sort and is able to be able to be with Jody, okay, on a different plane and in a different level. And so like, I feel like we would call that higher consciousness these days. And so Jody, also it makes sense that you do so well at the distance Reiki, because it took two to be able to come together on this higher plane. And so I feel like in some ways that remedied whatever this rift was between you guys, because I do feel hurt, you know, with that. I'm definitely going to open it up for questions, not right now, because I feel like this needs to be cleared. They're kind of pulling me forward and just allowing us to be able to really recognize that that's the information we need for now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to clear any karma, patterns, ideas, issues, negative emotions, dis-eases, blockages associated with this time and space. We're going to allow for anything not necessary to be let go of. So I do feel, I feel hurt. Like, I just feel like there's this hurt, just betrayal amongst you guys from that lifetime. But at the same time, somehow you guys somewhat remedied that, and now you're definitely remedying it in this lifetime. So allowing for the hurt to subside. I almost feel like there may be one or two of you that sometimes may feel left out or something along those lines. And so we're going to clear that, because we don't necessarily need that. You know, you guys all belong. You all belong. And so allowing for that. And you all have very important roles in this lifetime. And so to really just stand in each one of your roles, and just to know that not one of you is the same. You know, and we need all 5 of you to be able to step forward with your power and what you have to share. So that's cleared. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to fill it with healing, light, and love, with gratitude, with an understanding that you can access this knowledge again, okay, in this lifetime, and that you know this already, but you all were called together for a reason. And my ears are ringing, and I'm getting emotional because I see so much for all of you, and that it's this collective effort. And you guys, you really have to do your best to stay in touch this lifetime. Okay. I'm getting really emotional. I can feel that, there's going to be times that you guys want to pull, and that's okay. If you need space, take space, but you're very powerful in this lifetime together. You know, and I just feel like we've really solidified that. Like, we've really, it's beautiful, because they're just kind of showing me like the cracks in an egg, and it's just like, no, we all came together. You know, we've really healed a lot of that. So again, this space is going to be filled with healing, light, and love, with harmony, with gratitude, with financial abundance, with time abundance, with vacation and travel, and you know, whatever your dreams are, to just recognize that you guys all support each other. You all have these superpowers, and they're all different, let's say. And so you really, you know, they're just showing me like, you can really come together with intention and allow for the manifestation process with this collective, you guys. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. I'll let you guys unmute yourself. But questions, processing where you guys are at, that's pretty intense, you know, two really intense lifetimes with like some minis in there, you know, like the witches, and then Jody, you're buried alive. I didn't want to say it out loud. I don't know why. I was like, you poor thing. So any processing, any questions, you know, just so we can make sure you guys get what you need.
I just love that the witches is just a blip, because it was made to be such a huge part of our story that I was like, oh, and it, like, to be kicked out of it, I was like, and then I got over it. But so it's part of my wounded warrior story or whatever. But yeah, like, I'm just so pumped that that's just such a blip. It was like, oh, we don't even want to talk about that anymore. And I'm like, oh yeah, like, let's focus on the other stuff. So that was cool.
That's really good. Mm-hmm. Was there more, Veronica?
I don't think so. I don't know. Like, are they telling you I'm supposed to say more?
I'll look for more if I'm.
I don't know. I'm just like, I knew there was a reason, and it's so interesting because it started with me and Melissa talking, and then right, yeah, and then I think Melissa and Jody were talking too, and then we started a trio group chat, and it was like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like, let's bring Dana into this, and then it was like, we also need to add Noelia, and like, no explanations about why, and it was just like, that just feels right. And like, I couldn't explain it, and I was like, really interesting, because it just, at the time I was like, why? So it's really cool.
I love how this has all come together too, in just just like you said, like you guys just intuitively knew that you five had to be together, you know? And I love that too, that it was like unspoken and that you all just kind of came together. And I feel like in a lot of ways, this session has allowed you guys to fill in the blanks, you know, have gotten the answers that you need. And I do want to touch on, like you shared, that the witches was kind of such a blip. And I almost feel like it's, you know, a portion of it is because you learned as much as you needed to learn. You know what I mean? There. And then also recognizing the solidity that you already have what is necessary, you know, that you have, like, let's say the potions or the magic, you know?
Dana has potions and Jody and I have some kind of transcendence thing going on. So we need to like go to the future.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's really good because I feel like too, like it'd be really good for you guys to be able to then figure out like, well, yeah, what do we do with this? Like if we know that we have this, you know, these superpowers and we know that this lifetime we had to come together and we, you know, then what do we do with that? So I love that. Anything else or any other questions or processing?
I thought it was funny that you said that I was the first one to leave the group because I was the first one kicked out of the group.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
True story.
Gotcha. And I feel like what I'm receiving from Spirit right now is that you're the most resilient. Not necessarily out of the group. I'm not saying like that. I'm just saying that you have that resilience. Do you know what I mean? And even though, oh no, am I losing you guys? Okay, no. When everybody freezes and I keep going, I'm like, oh, I just lost them all. I'm just listening, and they're just kind of sharing that you have that resilience. You know what I mean? And I just feel like that's been throughout the lifetimes, and I'm also getting a hit that you guys all supported her, though, right? Like,
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So I feel like in some ways that changed, that assisted with the change in the karma from that other lifetime, you know, and that what they're sharing too is from that other lifetime, it was really hard for you guys to stay in touch. They didn't have cell phones, you know, that kind of thing. So Veronica and Melissa, right, they were able to figure out how to stay in touch. You know what I mean? So that's pretty awesome. And I love, you know, I'm just going to bring Noelia into this too, that she was just so important in each lifetime. And I love that she was the scribe because then, you know, she has all that knowledge. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you guys all have that knowledge. And then I love how Noelia has, it's almost like I see like a photographic, you know what I mean? Like she's got it, like it's there already. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like for all of you, just to really be open to the powers that you have, you know. But anything else?
I have a question. Me, if I can get myself to work, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I live in the desert, so I must have used desert things, right, in that lifetime. So I'm wondering if I should explore, you know, like potions and, I mean, plant medicine, or, you know, is that something I should be exploring in this lifetime? Should I be
Yeah.
going back to that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I like, even Veronica was like confirming. Yeah. So absolutely. And I just feel like since you were like with the witches, like you were the source, you know, that you still have that wisdom. So we have this wisdom from lifetime to lifetime as well. And I see you like, I see like Aztec, almost like Aztec bowls of some sort where you're putting stuff in, you know, and then, and it feels really good. It does feel really, really good for you to be able to use that holistic medicine. Do you have a husband, Dana? Boyfriend? He could really benefit from that. So I almost feel like you could work on him with that. Yeah. So any other questions? Processing?
So Dana, you had said that you called yourself Maiden Mother Crone. You remember? How's that feel to you, Heather?
No, what I meant was like we all go through the stages in life. We're a maiden, and then we do a mother age, and then we're a crone. And I'm approaching my like crone age, where I'm just like I'm comfortable with being older. That's what I meant by that.
Oh, okay.
And I do feel like then with that also that allows for, you know, in these past lives for Dana kept bringing the wisdom in, right? So then that's so powerful even into this lifetime, you know, because I feel like we all need to get comfortable with the wisdom. Do you know what I mean? And so I feel like Dana's getting more and more comfortable with the wisdom, right? So that crone, does that make sense? Okay. Mm-hmm.
And Dana knows she has wisdom, but some other people don't recognize it because that happened in the other group where like Dana got brushed aside sometimes, and it's like she has something to contribute. Like we saw it, but it was just like what the, and she'd come in the group chat and be like, I know this stuff. Like people think I don't know, but I know. And it's so I think it's that again, that speaking it, right? And she did finally call out, and then she got kicked out of the group. Like, oh my god,
Oh,
speak your
right?
truth and gone. Like, oh, but she did it, and I was like, yeah.
Yes. And I feel like, remember earlier, I was like, somebody with their throat, you know, so I feel like, you know, Dana, you know, is picking up on that. And keep speaking
I did have
that.
something to say.
So sorry. So keep speaking that. And then what else were they saying? With speaking that, go ahead, Dana. You had something to say. It'll come.
I knew I was probably the throat. I know I was probably the throat person because like a few weeks ago or I don't know, a while ago, I mean, I thought I was getting like strep throat or something. My throat closed, and it was just kind of right around that time that I felt like I needed to say something to that group. But and it was just my throat chakra. So like I wondered if you were attaching the throat with the being buried alive, but I do feel like that was me, the throat person you were feeling, because like my throat just completely closed like up one night. I felt like I was getting mumps or something, you know. So
Yeah.
that might be me.
Yeah, I feel that. And it's interesting, you know, because so I'm obtaining information about you now, in the past, in the future, you know, loved ones are stepping forward, you know what I mean? And so I appreciate that confirmation, and that makes sense. And so what they're just sharing right now, and I'm glad you said that, because it jogged what was supposed to come forward, is for you to really share, you know, rather than saying like, I'm not visible or I'm not being heard, you know, I am visible. I am being heard. You know, and just to really empower yourself with that. Do you know what I mean? Because I almost feel like if as you say it, even if you just say it out loud in the mirror or in the car or that kind of thing, then your psyche's like, yes. And then it sends that information out. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And good for you too. And I just want to say for recognizing that you felt these medical symptoms, but you knew they weren't medical. Do you know what I mean? Like you knew it was almost like, I just got to talk, you know, kind of thing. So good for you. Anything else? Any other questions? Any other processing? Looks like Jody's.
Veronica.
I know. I feel bad. I'm like, what happened to Veronica?
Do we have time to go into the Egyptian one? I'm just curious if it was around the goddess Isis at all, or I don't know. I just feel like
I'm
it's
curious about that. We don't have time to go into like deep,
Okay.
you know, like full on past life. I love this though. It kind of reminds me of like a slumber party, you know, like what's the next movie, you know, kind of thing. You know, moving the chips. And so I do feel that, like I am getting that. So let me just give you what I'm receiving right now. Is within Isis, you know, and I also see like Hathor there as well, or Hathor. And I'm just looking at the players. I just feel like all of you already have those downloads. Like it's not a surprise to me, you know, that you would even bring up Isis, because what they're sharing right now is because that information has to keep going. And you guys, I almost feel like, you know, you guys need to be open to continuing the journey Does that make sense? I think that's what they're saying, like, is to just be open to continuing the journey. Yeah, it'd be cool for you guys to go to Egypt together. Wouldn't that be so cool? Whoop, whoop. Awesome.
Goals right now. I don't even know how to do this stuff.
And I think, Melissa, I see you writing, and I feel like right now is an assimilation time for you, like an integration time for you, and then you're just gonna burst with the information. Like you just asked, how do I do this? And I think that's perfect, because when you ask, Spirit steps forward, so how do I do this? And then Spirit's like, oh, ding, 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 who's going to take that one? So that's really good. And I just to allow yourself that assimilation period. That makes sense. Yay. Well, thank you, ladies. Oh, go ahead, Gary. Yeah, I thought maybe you had something. Yeah, thank you so much, you guys, and happy birthday to Noelia. I love it. Yay! Awesome. So I'll go ahead and compress this video, and then it may be ready Monday. And then what we do is we upload it to YouTube, and it's just like an unlisted link that I send you guys. So then you'll have that. So awesome, you guys will have a fantastic day. And this was wonderful. Yay. Awesome.
Thank you.
All take care. Okay. Bye, you guys.